Welcome back, everyone. This is our final installment of the Understanding Yourself and Others, a DiSC-based approach. During this series of videos, we've looked at general characteristics of each DiSC style. We've also looked at how those styles communicates, leads, works with others, and deals in conflict. And today, we're going to learn some key adapting and connecting behaviors. The focus entirely today is going to be on connecting and communicating effectively with others. So why watch this? Well, you want to more successfully connect with your team members. Maybe you've struggled in communicating with other people. There have been that kind of disconnect you've had with others. Maybe you lead a diverse group of styles and approaches and want to relate to them better. And you don't automatically click with all types of people. Overarching principles we're going to talk about is that the most effective and successful people, first of all, understand themselves and their style. Beyond that, they understand the impact of that style, their style, on others. And they also seek to understand and recognize the styles and the needs of those styles of other people. And most importantly, they modify their style and approach for more effective connections with others. As a reminder, the general characteristics associated with the DiSC model are dominance are direct, result-oriented, firm, strong-willed, and assertive. The general characteristics of I, influence, are outgoing, enthusiastic, optimistic, spirited, and energetic. Characteristics of S, steadiness, include even-tempered, accommodating, patient, humble, and tactful. The characteristics of C include analytical, reserved, precise, private, and systemic. Now let's talk about communicating with dominance first. The very first adapting behavior someone wants to make is be direct. Quite simply and very bluntly, use less words. The second technique of communicating with a D is be assertive. If your tone is a little bit on the low-key side, you need to make sure you add some assertiveness into it. And then finally, in connecting with a D, talk a little faster. Move your pacing along. That'll be in contrast with another style we see in just a second. Communicating with high I or influence individuals, people need to, first of all, be relational. Quite simply, that means make some small talk with them. Show some interest in them. Additionally, you need to be upbeat. I's hate grim. You need to have a little bit of upbeat tone in your interaction. And then finally, with an I, be a little animated. That is a nonverbal signal. Use your hands. Make sure your facial expressions are positive with an I. Communicating with steadiness. Those techniques include, and here's the contrast, or soon to be the contrast, slow down a little bit when you're talking to an S. This really helps them process because they're big listeners. Also, use a low-key demeanor or tone. The assertiveness or the upbeat nature associated with D's and I's doesn't play well with an S. And then the other thing is demonstrate your sincerity. Easiest way to do that is through lots of legitimate eye contact. A C is an interesting hybrid in how they communicate, and what you can do with them, first of all, is you can be direct. You can use less words with a C. But they're going to have a shared characteristic with their brothers and sisters in the S's, and that is while you're being direct, you have to use that same low-key demeanor and tone. And then finally, when communicating with a C, make sure that you have your data and your facts together. They're not one to communicate with feel or with opinion, and it just needs to be very, very data and fact-based. Now, in a perfect world, adaptation would come almost evenly and equally from both parties trying to communicate and connect. In fact, what they would end up creating is this perfect little place in the center where one person adapts halfway and the other one adapts the other half. Unfortunately, in the real world, it doesn't work quite like that. What happens is the burden of adaptation usually falls on one individual, and that is going to be on the leader, or the message sender needs to be the adapter. Here's some more adapting techniques with D's. Ensure there's an objective in all communication. Certainly never write long emails. And you don't ever want to keep a D, somebody with high dominance, in long meetings. They're going to be turned off very, very quickly. Allow competitiveness And then finally, measure and report results. That goes along with being objective oriented. More connecting techniques with I. Encourage social interactions and opportunities. Give them a chance to talk with other people. Place them in teams and work groups when they can use their social skills. Validate their enthusiasm and upbeat demeanor. Certainly don't discourage that. And don't ever discourage them talking with other folks. And then finally, reward the relationships they build and develop. That's very important to I's, and they need to be rewarded for it. Connecting techniques with an S. Make sure you have a moderate pace to allow processing and thoughtful introspection. Ensure that your environment values sincerity and genuineness. And quiet, please remember, quiet is not disengagement, it's listening and processing. And please validate that listening first approach. Connecting with a C, high conscientiousness, value and validate accuracy and quality of work, very important to them. Promote the use of critical thinking and what ifs that they use a lot. Allow plenty of planning and analysis time. That's very, very important to them. And don't ever force them into overly quick decisions. That's going to be the worst decision that they ever end up making. Next week, we're going to begin a series that works on and looks at team member engagement. If you're interested in updating your DiSC profile, please let us know, and thank you very much for your time today.